Hi, good morning. This is a reflection on lesson 290 in A Course in Miracles, and it says, "My happiness is all I see," or "My current happiness is all I see." I don't know. I'm getting so bad at remembering the titles that I literally just looked at again so I'd remember once I hit record. But it doesn't matter. You can look at the title, but the lesson is 290. My current happiness is all I see, and it really points to, sorry, I just woke up. I've been doing these really early while I'm still at home and still have a cat on my lap. This is the other cat, the good one. He's the sweet baby. So this one points to how our natural mode of being is one of happiness. We're only not happy when we see things that aren't here. That's what it says, basically. So, like, if I'm thinking about the past, thinking about the future, I'm seeing things that aren't here, right now. If I look right here, right now, without that, without thought, if I just am, that's our state of happiness. So I really like that lesson. It's just a reminder that this whole process is one of stripping away what doesn't belong here, right now, to get back to peace, happiness. So yeah, that's why I like this lesson. It's a reminder to strip everything else away. And I think about that kind of a lot, how this whole process of opening, continual opening. Again, I keep seeing what words resonate as I go through it. The things, like, what is this process? It could be, some people call it awakening. I've used unbinding, letting go, peeling back onion layers, going through the gates, falling through the trapdoors. But it is a continual thing. And it's like, I've used this analogy before a long time ago, and it came back to me yesterday with this lesson. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I wasn't yawning until I turned on the camera. Oh, Agador. Stay. When you have a cat on your lap, you feel like the chosen one. And I feel like if he's leaving me, I did something to make him leave. And then I'm like, no, I'll be good. I'll do better. So anyway, so this analogy came back to me yesterday with this lesson. I really like it. Like this idea of whatever this is, I can't predict the steps beyond where I'm at right now, really. You might be able to, like, oh yeah, maybe, maybe I'll go through some more shadow work. And really all that is I don't even like to, shadow work is becoming kind of watered down these days. So it doesn't really, like, what's it mean? I always want to have like a shortcut of words to the real meaning. Like, what is this all about? Shadow work's like, what's it mean? It's dark and scary. Oh no. And no, I don't believe that. And so I really resonate with what somebody said. Like, I swear, I don't have any original ideas. I've probably heard everything that comes out of my mouth is probably something I heard somewhere that resonated with me, and then I'm just sort of perpetuating it forward. Maybe I've had a couple original ideas, but whatever. It's examining the unexamined. That's shadow work for me. And it doesn't make it scary, does it? Oh, that thing has heretofore been unexamined. I like that word. Let me examine it. There's nothing scary with examination. Maybe doctors examine it, I don't know. But like shining my light, like it feels like I have a headlamp and I'm in a dark space and I just go, oh yeah, that's not scary. Maybe it's not even dark. Maybe you're just like, oh yeah, I need to look at that. So back to the other analogy that came to me yesterday. I really like how I feel like I'm in this room. And it has one little door, a big door, an outside door. Oh, and this room actually has some windows, but I can't see out because there's no light. So really it's just reflecting back at me. So let's ignore the windows for now. So I have a few doors. I will just go through whatever doorway looks most interesting to me in the moment. Like, oh, maybe this time I'll take that door. When I open that door, it takes me to another room. That room might have only 2 doors, or it might have 4 doors. And it's a different room. There's different stuff in it with different number of doors that go to different places. And I feel like this whole process for me is like, because I can't predict beyond where I am right now, and I just have to follow my curiosity. So the analogy for me is I'm just playing around in this room for a while till I like examine everything. Like I have a stack of books, I have a journal, I have a microwave, whatever. I have my cup of coffee. And so I'm going to just play with / examine what's here in this room that sparks my curiosity. I probably won't examine everything because honestly, I get bored pretty easily. Like, yeah, whatever. These books look good, but I may not even read. I definitely am not going to read one back cover to cover. I shouldn't say that. Once in a while I do. But I might pick it up a few different times and finish it. Whatever. I get curious enough, examine enough, and then I go through the door that sparks my curiosity. And I go into a new room and I'm like, oh, I had no idea this room was even here. And look at all this new stuff in this room. Some of it might look a little like, ooh, I don't know if I want to look at that. I'll just go over here for a while. And then when I'm ready, look at this stuff, whatever. So then when I get exhausted when I exhaust the energy of examining, or when I get bored of that room, whatever you want to call it, and then I look, I'm like, that door, let's go through that door. And then I'm like in some other place. And so that's what this whole process feels like to me. Sorry it took so long to describe this. In the mornings, I guess I make longer videos because there's no one around to stop me. Usually I'm doing them in the morning at my studio, and I know I have a client coming, so I have a time limit. But I just love everything. And it's fun to reflect on, like, whatever this is. And to me, it's like exploration and curiosity and examination. The word shadow doesn't even need to come into this if you don't want it to. The word spiritual awakening doesn't even have to come into this if you don't want it to. the spiritual awakening part, for me, there are these amplified moments of aha, like visceral landings in the body of deep knowings, of deep truths. I almost said spiritual truths, but really they're just deep resonant truths. Like boing. And those are high peak moments, like, oh, that feels so good. There's so many weird noises. And spiritual meaning beyond the physical material. It's something like my soul self, something resonated deeply, like a deep truth with my eternal self. And I think that's why spiritual awakening is a shortcut kind of way to say all of that. And the more I go through it over and over and over, like go into the next room, boing, go into the next room, boing. Some rooms don't have a boing, they just have a melting away of what's no longer needed. Like, oh, so much. And it's different for each of us, this whole process. There never could be one way that it looks. And really, at the end of the day, I've heard other people say this. So I'm like, oh, good, I'm not bonkers. Maybe I am. So I've heard other people say this, that it was like, you get so far, here's an air quote, today's air quote, we get so far along this path because there is no distance and there's nowhere to get, that you're like, did anything even happen at all? It's almost like some of it feels a little full circle-y, some of it feels a little like, did I ever even set out on this journey? Like, I don't even like the word journey anymore. Where there's no one who went on it. It's like nothing ever happened. And yet, everything has happened. Do you feel that way if you're on this pathless path, as they say? Like, there's so many ways to describe it. These are all shortcut, spiritualized ways to talk about it. And I went, because I love all the things. All these words work. And I still feel like as they go, these words no longer work because they have so much assumed baggage or expectation or woo-woo-ness for some people. And I don't use woo-woo as a bad word or a shaming word or a judgy word. I think the woo is just yet another shortcut way to say spiritual beyond the physical understanding, which means only you know your woo-woo feelings and only I know my woo-woo feelings. Those deep, beyond the self, the eternal self resonances. The eternal self meaning, what does that even mean, right? Like, they're deep inner knowings. That's all it is. The self that's not bound up in thought, in comparison, in judgment. And that's all this is a continual letting go, unbinding from what no longer is needed in the moment. And I talked about it recently, like when I talked about childhood stuff and getting back to the bare essentials. And then that's what this lesson, I think that's might be why it's coming up. What does this lesson talk about? It's a stripping away of what's like happiness is here if we don't go if we're not trying to see what's not here right now. What's here right now, and the more I practice that, the more doors I go through, the rooms are becoming emptier and emptier. Let's just keep going with analogy. The rooms, there's less to like pick up and play with. There's less to make me go, do I even want to look at that? I don't know. There's just less there. It's just like, holy shit, there's not even a chair to sit on. There's nowhere to land. There's no comfort, perceived comfort. There's nowhere to, like, what am I going to do in this room? It won't keep me entertained. It won't, there's nothing to examine except maybe, like, what is this? I'm the one in the room. There's nothing else to examine. So shine the light back on me and being like, who even is this? If I'm not in relation to anything else in this room, there's no relation here, meaning no duality to compare against. So it's like there's nothing in this room. So I sit thoughtless and just look, listen to the empty space. That's what this process, even that word, feels like. I'm just going into more and more rooms that are emptier and emptier, and sometimes something will be in the room and I'll be like, oh, time to examine that. And then I go into the next room and it's empty again. I'm like, okay, sit. Do you feel like that? Man, my rooms used to be so full, and I'd stay in them a long, long time. And yesterday I talked about that trapdoor feeling and that somewhere soft to land. And then that's like when I said I go into the room, there's not a chair to sit in, but sometimes there's a chair, like, oh, there's finally some comfort. And I'm like so excited to sit in the chair to find relief. And then I'm like, well, that relief didn't last long, and it didn't really give me what I thought it did. And then the chair disappears when I walk in the next room, because it's not needed in that next room, because all I need to do is, I guess, just sit on the floor, just stand and just exist in happiness, because nothing else is here, because nothing else is needed right now. It's like that trapdoor feeling yesterday of like thinking there's somewhere to land, like a hard surface that will like catch me, and then the trap door opens and I fall again. That's like going through the door to the next room. Those analogies feel more true to me right now about whatever this is, this unbinding. So I think I'm done explaining it. It's fun. Maybe every day is just another explanation of what it feels like to let go. Because in the moment, it's not during these videos. Usually, there have been a few, I think, actually spontaneous, like, oh, let's look at that. But overall, it's a reflection. That's why I call them reflections about the process. Because in the moment, it feels like a lot's happening. So it's like, oh man, so much. I'm feeling so much. Like, oh my God, yesterday was a doozy. To the point where I even looked up, what's the moon frickin' doing? Sometimes it's fun to be like, it felt like all me, like it was time. It felt like yesterday there was so much emotion, but good stuff, like not reactionary. It felt like a layer had been peeled back, and then something was allowed to emerge. That's another way to think about what I feel. Something was allowed to emerge because I'd finally peeled a layer back. It was like, oh, like exhausted the stuff in a room, went through the door, and I was like, oh, this room has been hiding from me. I had no idea this room even existed. And it's full of stuff I need to be in. Well, it's probably still here. I'm not going to say it was a one room, one day situation, but yesterday was a day of letting it come up without shoving it back down. And it felt very emotionally energetic, like it felt like it was so just raw that it didn't need, the stuff itself didn't need a lot of examination. It felt like, oh, finally, right? It felt like all the stuff I've been examining around it was like the little hammer and pick to get that shell, the outer crusty shell off. And then all that magma, all the lava, whatever, was able to finally go and just move through. It felt like a moving through yesterday. The examination came before it, like, okay, we'll tap on that, we'll like examine that, question that, really shine a light, and then so it felt like yesterday's room was all about swimming around in the lava, and it felt good, like to let it move through the body. So that's why I can't predict even one day to the next. And then what was funny is like the aftershocks of everything just felt so raw in the best way. Like there's no separation from anything. And that energy that moved through in the form of so much emotion that just felt good. And the rest of the day, it was just right there. Not like I was trying to tamp it down. I wasn't just right here waiting. I felt very clear each time it would come out. And then there would be times I just let it. Like I was working. I know this is weird. It's probably weird to say. But the work I do with clients, and this was just a regular massage client, but she's like in her 80s, in a lot of pain, and she comes really regularly for pain management. Basically, massage does that for her, and I feel so humbled and honored to be able to work on her. Even now the emotion feels like it's right there. That in the moment yesterday, after all that stuff that moved through, later on I got to work with her, and I was just in that moment of being so humbled by life that I was like, I get to care for her. Oh. And I was like, I'm glad she's face down because I'm crying. And it was a beautiful moment. Now the tears weren't streaming, but I was like, you know, when you open your eyes real big to get them to dry out. I was like, oh, it was funny. So, like, that's what I meant before. Like, don't ask the universe for what you want because you're going to get it. When I said, all I want is rawness. I want the raw experience of life. And that's what I'm getting. And I had the best interaction last night. I went to a gathering of people I haven't seen in so long, and I miss their beautiful faces. And one of the first people I saw when I walked in is one of the ones I think about all the time, and we missed each other, and like we always had the best conversations, more real than any real, even before I knew what real was. And we just like basically energetically fell into each other, and it was just so raw, and it was just pure love in friendship. And you know, when you can just make eye contact with people and just rest in the eye contact, I love that so much now, especially just like the more I let go of stuff, I just love the bzzz. And I've been there to do that with people, and it's been too intense for them, and at least that's what I perceive. And then I'm like, oh, rein it in, you know? Have you done that? Like, and then I felt it too, and I'm like, ooh, that was too intense. There's like being ready to go so deep with people, and then something hit me yesterday about, oh shit, sorry this is so long, it's the weekend, oh, it's Saturday. I was just thinking I better get going because I have stuff to do. I'm trying to find the word. It didn't scare me, but it invigorated me. Like, oh, even that's in there. Like, the intensity, the raw and fiery intensity. It's like, because I've been so like pretty mild my whole life. Mild as in soft, shy, reserved, blah, blah, blah. But I guess I opened another door yesterday where it was just lava in all forms. So I'm gonna go because I heard my husband, so we can have our coffee time together. But there's other doors to go through, and it's hot. I think it's good stuff. Like, feels like passion for life in a different form. Oh, I can't. It's gonna be interesting. Okay. Bye.